Good morning or afternoon. By the time you see this, it might afternoon or evening, and also depending on where you're watching this in the world. To my tribe, I've got another case to cover. Um, this one, I don't know if you've heard of it. It was publicized all over social media and the news. Have you ever heard of the case of the LYFT driver that was allegedly attacked? Um, this happened in, I think it was Palm Coast, Florida, and it was on August 2nd of 2020. That's what we're going to talk about today because there's a lot of fishy stuff. So, let's dig in. Okay, I hope I get all the facts correct. But also, my disclaimer when I get to the cards, it is my opinion, not based on fact. It's my interpretation of the cards. Here's how it's going to go. I'm just going to give a basic rundown of the way the story was told to me and a video that was shared with me, which I will put that link in the description box below. Pretty much outlines the basics of this case. Okay, August 2nd, 2020. The defendant, yes, defendant, Travis. I could say his name because it is all over social media and it's going to be displayed anyhow. Him and some others, including a child, was getting a ride from Lyft. Okay. Well, as the story goes, supposedly the Lyft driver was a little bit antsy, a little bit nervous about picking them up. And then he picked them up, Travis and his gang, anyhow. Moving forward, he ran a red light. Travis wanted out of the car. He wanted everybody out of the car. The Lyft driver refused. Moving forward, they were talking about the vid barrier that was in the car that separated the driver from the passengers in the back. There was a discussion between Travis and the driver about the barrier. And the driver wasn't slowing down. He wasn't about to let them out. And when he went to make a bend, he was going through, if the light was yellow and it was turning red, and he was speeding up to take this bend. He goes in the other lane and everything else. Well, this is when Travis saw his chance to stop the driver and for him and his crew to get out of the vehicle. So he tore down the barrier. He puts the driver in a headlock. And you'll see video clips of this. Okay? And essentially, as soon as the car is stopped, he lets the driver go. He bolts out the door. And the driver also opens up his door and gets out. And by the way, there's some little things here with the court case. I'll get to that in a minute. And then the driver gets back into does something to try to get the vehicle to stop, like put on the brakes or something. It must have been moving still when they jumped out of the car, just slightly. Anyhow, the police were called to the scene. This is where things really get hairy. The body cam of the officers were turned on and off. And the whole interaction between Travis and the officers was not recorded on body cam. Flag number 1. Flag number 2. Travis was never read his Miranda rights. That was brought up in court. And the prosecution tried to say, oh, it wasn't necessary, or something to that effect, that basically saying that they didn't need to read him his rights because something about being arrested and stuff. And Travis kind of stated, well, I thought, when somebody's detained or arrested and questioned, they're supposed to be read their rights, and that's what the law says. And the prosecution says, well, that's not exactly what the law says. That's what you believe. So his rights were violated right there. That he did not, even if he would have been guilty, it doesn't matter if he was guilty or not guilty at this point. The Miranda rights are supposed to be read, and they weren't. Okay. Now, the driver was trying to say that Travis was punching him in the face, and when Travis jumped out of the car, he pulled the driver out of the car and continued to assault him outside the car. The video footage says it all. That's not how it happened. Okay? And I'm going to insert clips. In court, they tried to say that Travis attacked the driver, and because of that attack is what caused the driver to run the red light and go into another lane. Well, here's the kicker. It's even admitted in the court documents, or whatever they do, whatever that's called, transcripts or whatever, that the footage of the inside cam was a second ahead of outside cam. And when those two line up, or when they're lined up that way, it appears that Travis attacked the Uber driver before the turn, before running the red light. And it was recorded in the court documents that that's what happened. Now, I'm taking something from this video, a screenshot. This is why that's important. How much of a difference that 1 second makes. See that? How many feet at 40 miles an hour a car travels? So, that made all the difference in the world. A little bit fishy, isn't it? So why did they railroad this guy? Reviewing the original footage from the video that is down below, Um, and this is not to be racist because I'm not racist, but you could tell he was probably Puerto Rican or Mexican or something like that. Could there have been a language barrier? I don't think so, because it seemed like he was able to speak quite fluent English. But there's something about that driver that doesn't sit right with me. And what about the judge and the prosecution? They violated Travis's rights on so many levels. And the original charges were 2 felonies, a felony of child abuse, because the child being in the car, burglary. Where did Travis rob the Lyft driver? I didn't see anything on the footage where the Lyft driver was robbed. Okay? And the third one was, the defense says that was in self-defense. Okay? We're going to look at all this. This has really piqued my curiosity. This case just fell in my lap this morning. 1111 portal. I think that might be significant too. I saw some things, and I'll just leave it at that. But I'm curious about, I feel this like corruption. You know, we're seeing this all over the country, actually. Idaho, Indiana, Florida, and other places. And I know another case. A really good friend of mine, I'm not going to go into detail about her case. And if she watches this, she'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, her rights being violated so drastically. And all that it was a simple slip and fall accident. And that should have been settled long ago. She slipped and fell in a store, and she's still fighting. And, you know, a bunch of attorneys and everything else, and judges and stuff. I mean, I can't go into that case. I don't want to go into that case right now. Maybe later I would, because of things that are still ongoing for her. But, and that's a Florida thing. What is it about Florida? What is it? But anyhow, that's the basics of the case. Another thing before I get into the cards I want to point out is, in the police report, the driver said that he had, whatever they call it, cuts or whatever on his right side. In the footage, pay close attention to that, because when the driver gets out of the car after Travis makes his exit, there's nothing on his face. The cuts don't appear until after he went in and was underneath and tried to stop the car. He came up, then he got a cut. So that's where he claimed that Travis was beating him. Travis gets found guilty. They wanted to sentence him to life. Listen to this court.
If this case goes to trial, then yes, we will be filing an amended information charging it as a burglary with a battery as a first-degree felony punishable by life.
He did everything that he possibly could to sit there and they stop this guy.
Here's the last comment I'm going to make on this. The footage from the dash cam, the prosecution will not turn that over to the defense. Where does that sound familiar? Idaho? Defense or the prosecution doesn't want to turn over evidence? The prosecution in this case says that there's no exculpatory evidence to present. They didn't have anything. Where does that sound familiar? Oh my God. What's happening, not just to Florida, to our justice system. Now on with the reading. Okay, I am going to start out with just getting some general information surrounding Travis, the suspect, see where things are going, see if how things are going to end up with him. Just generally with it where this case is concerned. Then I'm going to also get into the driver, allegedly speaking. All this part of the video from here on out is entertainment purposes only, allegedly my interpretation of the cards. Okay, so let's kind of dig in. One more. No, I didn't like that shuffle. There we go. I did a little bit of pre-shuffling off camera to get the cards mixed up. Let's take a look. Okay. Underneath the deck, 4 of Wands. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, Travis does not come across as somebody who's lazy or anything like that. He had his empire or his life, his home, his family, and he was really hardworking. He loved his family, King of Cups. Seems like a very, for the most part, generally speaking, docile. Very committed. Hierophant. Okay. I think he lives by his own set of strict rules for himself. Queen of Wands. That's his partner, his girlfriend. 6 of Cups. You know, building memories. I know, I'm not going to give any kind of spoiler alerts in case his girlfriend watches this video. But actually, I'll just say I had a private session with him. But they barely touched on this. But there is also a sense of rest, 4 of Swords. But in his private thoughts, he thinks about this a lot. He thinks about how it has affected his family, how his family in general is fell under judgment by the public, by the media, social media networks, etc. Okay. Queen of Pentacles with the Sun. You know, happy family, happy life. You know, it feels like your typical American family. Okay? The atmosphere. Lots of promise. Okay, in regards to this case, this almost feels like and I know if you watch this, Travis, I would love to know your input. Was there a female judge involved, or will there be a female judge or attorney? I'm just curious about that. But it feels like that there is going to be a ray of sunshine. The Ace of Pentacles is an opportunity. An offer here. 6 of Swords. Now, this is a totally different deck, Travis. We had similar cards fall. Did we not? Okay. And the 6 of Swords is in the same exact position as it was in your other reading. So, that is moving out of the storm, like I said, moving into calmer waters. Trying to. This is at the base, is what led up to this. You're trying to get out of a storm. This is a shit storm. Yeah. What is passing? Knight of Wands. This is somebody who is flaky. A lot of action. And someone who's looking for a fight. This is, I feel that this is the actual Lyft driver here. Okay, moving forward, High Priestess. Somebody has knowledge who hasn't been speaking about it. Okay, Ten of Swords. That kind of ended life as you knew it. Two of Swords, kind of sitting on the fence, watching and waiting. A little bit of avoidance here. You're trying to avoid disaster. Six of Wands, you're hoping for victory in this. And King of Pentacles. King and Queen of Pentacles are of the same suite, are a match, are a couple. The Queen of Wands can only show up once, so that could be another aspect of your girlfriend also. But this is more about the comforts of home, being comfortable, nurturing, and she gets down to business. And she's also very closely related to the Nine of Pentacles, which is standing on your own 2 feet, which is a sense of security. I'm almost getting with the, where are they? Six of Wands and the Ace of Coins, Ace of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles. I'm sorry. King of Pentacles, not Queen. King of Pentacles. This gives me the image of wealth. This gives me the image of success. Right now, I think that the jury is out, no pun intended. That you're feeling like it could go either way. But moving forward down the line, it feels like that where this case would be going would be to success. And there is some kind of monetary compensation. So this alone almost feels like, yes, Ace of Wands, a new beginning, being able to plant seeds. This is your passion. The Magician. And the Page of Pentacles. There seems to be some action being taken. And some... I almost feel like a verdict. Okay? I'm really curious if this means that your verdict is going to be overturned. And because of all the damage, loss of job, money, reputation, etc., that you become I keep saying you like this is a personal reading, that Travis becomes financially compensated because as the evidence has presented itself, it looked like his rights were violated in multiple levels. And you'll see even more of that, other things that I did not bring out that's in the original video. That is linked below. There is the Death card and the Three of Pentacles. It's almost over. This is almost over, and there are some negotiations going on. It feels, I don't think they want this to come out in the media, but it's going to. With the help of me and what Travis is doing, this needs to come out because this is corruption that needs to be exposed. I'd like to know a little bit about that Lyft driver. Can you show me anything in the tarot about the Lyft driver? Queen of Cups. Three of Swords. Okay, Page of Swords. Well, a little bit about the Lyft driver is he's not a happy camper. It almost looks like he suffered heartbreak in his life, which kind of made him hard and vengeful for whatever reason. I just kind of wanted to see his energy. And underneath we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Lovers. How does this relate? This looks like the Lyft driver was scorned in a love affair. Possibly a love triangle. And maybe certain male types, masculine types, he has vengeance for because it's something in the psyche. Okay. This is a man who needs therapy. Okay. Let me see what else comes out. I don't know if anything in the true crime will come out, but we will see. I'm just feeling like, and I should have shuffled this ahead of time. Okay, I'm going to pause the camera for a minute. I'm going to do some of my own little shuffling. That's going to take a couple minutes. I'd rather do that than bore you with all my shuffling. I'll finish the shuffling up on camera. Hi, thank you for your patience. As you can see, this is a hefty deck. So it does take some, a little bit of trying to shuffle this. And I have split the deck many times. Shuffling different halves together. I am setting my intention not to read reversals in this. So know that the right cards will come out. So I'm just kind of doing switcheroos like this. Okay. And taking sections like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, give me some insights on the police in charge of this investigation. And I'm going to pull from the bottom. Oh, okay. This is from the bottom. You're not going to believe this shit. OMG. Secret Society. This is a national problem, folks. A national problem. Underwater. The underwater represents something that is buried deep. Something that, if you think about it, if you look at something like, even if the water's clear, and you look through the water and you see objects, it's distorted, right? You know, with the ripples of the water and stuff. Look at through water, it is distorted. And, you know, there seems to be secret society, secret club in that area. And they, you know, they protect their own. I'm curious if that driver is part of it. Because, you know, it seems like there's somebody behind the scenes that is distorting the evidence. Hit and run. Hit and run to me is talking more about, you know, we're going to hit this person. We're going to cover this up. We're going to run and it's going to be over. Directed energy. Affluence. Control. Sixth sense. And oh my God, the timeline issue. What's one of the things that I talked about in telling the story? The timeline. You know, remember those two video clips? You know, the one of where they delayed one video by a second and it made it look like to the jury that the suspect attacked the driver prior to even getting to the intersection. Timeline issue. Okay. Sixth sense. You know, the sixth sense is the intuition. And there is definitely somebody with money in power here. Who does the driver know? directed energy weapon. This is more about, I don't feel, not a weapon literally, but more about a weapon of words and manipulation and digital evidence. Let's draw some from the top now. Let's put the two decks back together, actually. Okay. I'm going to play a why do I always draw a blank when I try to think of her name? Starts with an A, not Alicia. Not Alyssa. Ashley. I don't know why I have trouble thinking her. I'm going to do an Ashley thing here. Only because my guys are telling me to. Not because I'm trying to copy her. But Ashley, the Reckoning Co. I am going to hold this deck like this. I'm going to ask, how is the driver connected to the police department and the affluent people, the people with money? And I said I was not going to read in reverse. Ashley does. False accusations. There you go. There's false accusations over greed. Paranormal is things that, like, I'm seeing this as ghosts that, okay, there is a certain ghost, skeleton in the closet, that is in that driver's closet. There's a skeleton in his closet. And it was about greed and false accusations. How is this connected to a certain group? As Alicia would say, the Eyes Wide Shut gang. Because what is there you do not see. Okay? And so I think there has to be some kind of is there family, sex, and liberation? I know I said I wasn't going to read in reverse, but I just feel called to read this one in reverse. Nuclear in reverse. This is an explosion. There's more to this driver than meets the eye, and he's connected to a certain Eyes Wide Shut gang, a certain secret society, and they all protect themselves like a family. And yes, there's some people with money connected to this. And there's something about sex here. What I get here is that, allegedly speaking, maybe the driver is involved. Incoming message about a curse. Con man. Boner zone. Finally, we got boner zone and sex in here. I wouldn't be surprised. A spouse and a partner. He's partnered up with somebody. Here's what I'm getting, allegedly. That maybe the LYFT job is a cover to show legitimate income. But there's something else going on here. I would say some sort of traffic, if you know what I mean. And given the location, it would not surprise me. This driver is a con man. Absolutely. He is greedy. And he probably... Let me just ask... Whoa. Murder for hire Illuminati. Oh my God. Murder for hire Illuminati club. So there's something really sinister there in this person's past. And I'm wondering if he took the fall. 5G, electronics, messaging, that's being connected. He is connected. He is connected. Connected to maybe some kind of elite group. And by the way, the Illuminati that we know today is different than its origins. That might be an interesting video. I watched a couple of documentaries on it. Was not supposed to turn into what people view the Illuminati at today. But that's for a whole nother video. But he gets paid well for something. Possibly, we got the hit and run in here. Perversion, sex, Illuminati, murder for hire, connected. He's connected to a very much underground thing. Underwater almost reminds me of underground, under the surface. Things are distorted, and the paranormal, it's there, but you don't see it. Okay? Something out of the norm. Did somebody owe this driver a favor? Absolutely. An affair, caregiver. He took care of something for somebody. And he was a distraction from something. We got distraction and we got fired. He was a distraction for something to keep somebody else from getting fired and losing their job. He has an accomplice. Yeah. Very suspicious. People are going to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. The cards are what the cards are. Okay. I wouldn't be seeing this kind of shit. God in the reverse. There is no God involved in this. War and end of the road. End of the road in the reverse is the end of the road. I guess I am doing reversals, aren't I? This, and then we got crime of passion. Democrat in the reverse. That's like some kind of politics being exposed. Passion could be related to the sex stuff. A question I would pose to Travis is there anybody that he's connected to that may have felt like that they needed to take revenge on him for something? There's some kind of revenge here. Interesting. And a little bit of word of caution. There is some underground, unseen danger. So yeah, there is something more sinister here. There is something more sinister. Okay. Let me pick these cards up. And I kind of want to look at law enforcement. I'm not going to point out investigating officers, but I do kind of want to know why the body cam footage was not shown when they were interrogating the suspect, right? But I feel like that incident, if it would have been found that it was the driver's fault, he would have lost his position with LYFT. Okay. And not only would he have lost his position with LYFT, there goes his cover, there goes his money, and he would not have been able to get hired on even with DoorDash. Okay. And that's another reason that I found this case very intriguing, being that I drew for Uber Eats, I drew for DoorDash, I drove for Grubhub, Walmart Spark. I did that gig work. So this case really intrigued me of being a driver. You hear shit happening to drivers and stuff. I don't really do that stuff anymore unless I absolutely have to. I haven't did a Walmart order or a DoorDash order in 2 months. But okay, let's do some shuffling here. I kind of want to find out about the law enforcement involved in this case. Okay. Tell me about law enforcement. Snake. Work in reverse. Family in reverse. A female. A leader. End of the road, crossroads. Death. Anger. Manipulation. Secret weapon exposed. Wow. Okay. There was definitely out of anger some manipulation. So this is not pointing fingers at you for anything. But with family in reverse and work in reverse, this is, the law enforcement did impact your family negatively, your work negatively. They are a snake in the grass. Snakes, this is a reptilian. They're a hidden enemy. They strike. But there is a leader behind it. Let me see here. So, this leader. Would this be like all the way at the top? Nobody's going to confess to it. Confession in reverse. Meeting. Communication. They're not going to confess to anything. Environmental hazard about the assault. I keep getting homicide here. And I keep getting bad guy and vampire. Suck the life out of you. You're the fall guy for whatever the wrong that the driver may have been doing. Even though it would have been, and it's a shame. It's like having to blow up something small and make it something big. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like you were just a scapegoat. They had to find a way to pin the whole case on you. There was definitely manipulation of the evidence. Inside job. So this goes through something very sinister that you got to be very careful, as I said before. anybody about uncovering what's going on. It just looks like Travis was the scapegoat because the Lyft driver had to hold on to his job. If he would get fired from his job, and I think I saw the fired card when I was pulling cards before. If he would get fired, it would cause a huge problem for other people. So, unfortunately, Travis had to take a fall. But I'm really curious if things are going to be reversed because I saw opportunity. I saw compensation. I'm feeling like this has a chance of being reversed. Might have to go higher up. We're talking like Supreme Court type shit. Because yes, this has damaged this man's career. This has damaged this man's life. You know, he's like he hit rock bottom with this. He had to sit in a jail cell for something. He got convicted for something he didn't do. So, and the video evidence from what I've seen contradicts what was said in court. You be your own judge, even what I've shown. What do you think? You, the viewers, what do you think about this? Do you think this guy was railroaded? And, you know, considering, like, there's a lot of shady shit that goes on in Florida. Because such easy access to the coast and to different ports. If you understand where I'm going with that, there's these organizations all over the place, but I think near water, near a major port is even worse. Major riverways, waterways for easy transportation. Okay, let's just throw a couple cards for the. I want to ask a couple specific questions here. I'm thinking about the police. Four of Cups. Justice. I tell you what, justice is going to be served, and there's going to be some people very, very unhappy about it. And I was thinking about the police, right? They're not going to be happy. There's going to be something overturned here. Queen of Pentacles. There she is again. This feels like a female attorney or something like that. Maybe a new judge. But this is somebody, she's very practical, very businesslike, very down to earth. She is somebody who cares. And this is somebody who cares about the justice system coming forth. And somebody's not going to be happy about it. Okay. Let's ask about the original judge. I'm going to tread lightly on this. That's why I'm not using this deck right now for the judge. If in the future, if I do any follow-ups on this and I feel I need to use that deck, I will definitely bring it out. We'll see. I'm not called to it right now. Okay. There's the Justice. Holy shit. And I shuffled. Page of Cups. Three of Pentacles. There was a lot of communication and working with somebody else. Tower. Yeah, the original judge, things are going to blow up on them too. Something's going to blow up. This whole shit show of a case, it's going to blow up. And we're not hearing about it because there weren't any murders committed in this case or anything like that. Not yet. And I say not yet because I just say some people's going to have to be a little bit careful. Let's get this out. Why not? This is a mystery house. Sometimes this can be sinister. Okay, let's pull a couple cards for the driver. 2 cards for the driver, please. 2 cards for the driver. One, 2. Goody boy. Physical gift. Gift exchange. 3D money material wants. There was definitely some kind of money exchange and associated with this. Okay, somebody owed him. And they pulled some favors. Okay, let's take a look at the investigating police department in general. Two cards for the police department. Oh, that came out really quick, didn't it? Attic goal. Avoiding, running, past memories haunt. This case is haunting some people in the police department. Kind of like that. Remember that paranormal? Somebody's ghosts. Ghosts of the past. I think that this case could launch investigations that could uncover some things in the attic or things in the closet. Uncover some things. Okay. What about the judge? What about the original judge in charge of this case? We didn't even look at the prosecution. The prosecution just came to mind. I'll draw a couple cards for the prosecution. Oh, they want to be quiet about the judge? 1. Wow. That was some explosive energy. That was tower energy. Okay. I'm almost feeling like the judge could have a little bit of a tumble. Got more than 2 cards for judge. It's just amazing how far corruption can go. Drama and being bound, compelled. There's going to be a shit show. There's going to be some drama. He was bound. Uncomfortable. Uninvited guest. Games player in and out. The judge is... I'm not necessarily picking up... I'm picking up that he is swayed in some way. He's bound by something here. What is he bound by? He has to be a player. He has to play the game. Oh, he has to play the game. Otherwise, he's going to have unwanted guests. That's going to create drama. That's the judge. Some people get into high places because of who they know and their connections. But those connections can come and bite you in the ass. Okay, let's take a look at the prosecution. Show me the prosecution. Okay, prosecution. Higher level, triggering trouble. Okay, there's a troll haunted stairs. It means ascending a higher level. This goes well above the prosecution. This is just saying that they're causing trouble, triggering to causing trouble. There's a troublemaker, a troll, who is at a much higher level than the prosecution. I feel like the prosecution is being told what to do. What else can you show me about the prosecution? Staying put, no movement. That is like them saying, they're sticking to their story, and they're not wavering. And it's because of a troll from a higher power. Okay. Oh. Shadow people. Hidden secrets. I told you. There is something bigger at play here. People who knew people, including that LYFT driver. Okay. I'm telling you, the LYFT job is a cover for what that guy really does for a living. Allegedly speaking, entertainment purposes only, my opinion. Okay, let's see about the defense. See if this deck has anything to say about Travis's defense team. Only 2 cards for the defense. Okay. Drunken Goblin and Fear Horrified. Okay, his defense team is horrified about what's going on. And they are ready to spill the tea. So I would say his defense team is cooking something up. So I think he wants to be exonerated. I think he wants to clear his name because it has affected his life. Okay, let me get some tarot on his defense team. And then I'm probably going to call this a read because he's already been convicted, but I think that there's something about overturning the conviction. I think he's already done his time. He's lost a good part of his life, but there's something here. Okay, show me cards about his defense. Okay. Nine of Swords, a level of concern. I don't know if that's him concerned about his defense team. If he is concerned about his defense team, it doesn't feel like that they were on the bad guy's side. Doesn't. But I feel like that maybe the bad guy tried to intimidate and put some fear into them. Because there's fear and horrified. They're horrified by what's going on. And they're fearful when it comes to standing up. But it looks like that they're going to spill the tea. 3 of Cups. Working together and celebrating. Celebrating after. It's like, okay, that's telling me the nightmare being over. Page of Wands, communication and news. It's usually good news. New path. I think there's a new plan of attack on this. 9 of Wands, perseverance. You know, this is about just persevering, getting through it. Under the deck, we do have strength and the Emperor. So this feels very like Travis having a very strong case. Might be a little bit worried about it right now. But there is celebratory news coming through. Okay. And I think when this happens, there's going to be some people who fall from grace. I just got to say that. did have the God in the reverse show up at one point out of this deck over here, which is almost like a fall from grace. A fall from grace. But I'm going to end this here because I'm not feeling to go like I need to go any further. Draw your own conclusions. Do your own research. This is all my opinion. My opinion is he is an innocent man that was kind of sacrificed to save the reputation and the job of somebody else, because that other person needed that job to show legal a legal income. You know, so take it from there. Anyhow, I love you all. I thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in a true crime video again near you in the future. Love you all. Love and light.